They react on the eye bone here. Start streaming. Okay. So you should be able to see. Can you see the muscles around the eye kind of squish in and close?
Yeah.
Like that. So that's controlled by those two bones there. Then the eyebrows, I don't know when she does anything with the eyebrows. She definitely does when she's angry, I think. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see that. Oh, fuck. She keeps moving around. So you can see hopefully there that this eyebrow's doing that and this eyebrow's doing like a bit like a kind of this kind of thing. That's what she's doing. Yeah, a bit like a rock, exactly. The rock, exactly like that. So that's why I need those three, because I need to be able to control the end part of it. The parent, I believe, is it this bone? Yeah, this main bone is the parent. And also notice that it also pulls a bit of the skin. It doesn't just move the eyebrow. And I also have a fucked up vertex over here that's being grabbed right down. That vertex shouldn't be grabbed. But it's also moving a bit of the skin, because it has to. Like when you move your eyebrow, you don't just move your eyebrow, the skin comes with. This is obviously a very complicated. The eyes have their own bone. The eyes move, rotate, and again, same thing. The eye moves the skin and the not too much, but a little. Then the rest are just helmet pieces. They just kind of open up the helmet. Let's see if I can. Oh my god. Let's see if I can open up the helmet for you to see. Yeah, so you see the way the helmet opens up like that, and you can see the actual face, and then it closes back in. So that's all controlled by this bones here. So these bones are controlling the helmet piece. And they're easy. You just rig the whole mesh part to that. So it's just one whole mesh part. So let's go back to the start. I'm going to delete everything, and we'll start again from scratch. I really hope I've saved a copy. Yes, I have. I think. Otherwise, I'm screwed. So select all, and I'm going to just delete everything. I'll just delete the character. I should delete everything. Character here. Boop. Cool. Everything is gone. I don't know what this cylinder is. Nothing. Oh, this is extra stuff I wanted to add on. So that's nothing, and this is just the texture. So I'll delete all these. We have this basic model. I'll make it not transparent, and this is going to be difficult because the head's inside. So what I did was I just cared about the main body first, and then after it's finished, I turned off the main body because I knew where everything was. I rigged the head to it. So it's just a bit easier that way. So there's the head inside, and same as I told you guys, I just cut off the bottom edge. I could actually clean this up a bit more. So it's hidden by like armor, so you don't need to see anything. So let's just do the main body as well. We'll see if we get to the head. This is a really complicated rig, so I don't know how far we'll get, but we'll see. So bodies there should be in a T-pose like this, or this is a 45 T-pose, and I have the armor off to the side. Ideally, try to make all your armor pieces or anything you want to rig separately 90 degrees, either vertical or horizontal, so then you can rotate the boat exactly. So it's exactly fitting it, because I've had problems before where the boat is a bit rotated, like the accessory is a bit rotated, and I have to try and get the boat exactly to it, and it's a bit messy. So it's just easier this way.
So with all the other stuff, you have the cannon there that's attached to that model?
The cannon is attached to the model, yes.
Okay, so
there is
one.
It's all part of one rig. Now there are methods of like unlinking stuff. So it's like you can link stuff here. So for example, if I want to throw a gun from left hand to right hand, if it's always rigged to the right hand, if I throw it to the left hand and I move my right hand, it's going to move as well. So it's a pain in the ass. So you can swap the linking in animation, but that's a little more complex. So we'll do that like later. That's doing animation.
Yeah.
So today I'd say I'm only going to focus on rigging because it's going to be quite long to rig this fucking thing.
So in the case of the hologram, it needs to be attached to
the hologram needs to be attached to something. So probably in your case, you have the pelvis.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a bone from the pelvis that it's attached to. So wherever the pelvis, if the pelvis rotates, that hologram stays the same.
The model itself.
What do you mean?
So like he has one mod for the body, and you go to poly and just attach. Okay.
No, you don't. Oh, sorry. No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be attached.
Yeah.
I can keep this separately, completely separately, if I want to. Actually, I'll do that just because why not? I will go to turn off the skin, and I'll just grab that mesh. So just like this, and just attach this, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just attach. Oh, there's no attachment here. Fuck. Where's the attach? There we go. Cool. It's gone. Okay. So there's loads of reasons why you might want to detach, but I don't know what else. And I'm gonna then change the pivot, so center to the object. And that's it.
So you go to.
Yeah. So I have the separate gun now here, and that's
The pivot point is inside the object.
now the pivot point is right here.
But then when you go to.
I don't. No, because it's gonna be.
Part of the animation.
Yeah, because it's gonna follow the animation.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right to the animation. Cool. So the first thing that I want to do is create a parent. And again, this is why I retopologize down so low. You'll see this now because it's way easier to rig if I retopologize low. So I'm going to go to create. I am going to go to helpers. Where are helpers? Here, sorry. Capitals here. And to cat objects. And then cat parent. And then turn on my snaps tool with S, making sure I'm snapping to grid, which I am, grid points, and just click and drag, and it doesn't really matter the size of your like character. It doesn't really matter. It kind of affects the size of the pelvis that's created, but what else? You can resize it. So there we go. It's probably around there. You kind of want to have it, and then you need to go to modifier. And what we need to do is just create pelvis. Boop, and we have a pelvis. When you're doing this, you probably want to take your mesh, hit Alt-X to make it transparent. And you also probably want to freeze it, which I have already, but just right-click and freeze selection. The same with this gun. Gun, Alt-X, cool. They're both frozen. Alt-X makes it transparent, yeah. And the reason you want it transparent because obviously I want to see the bones that I'm making and putting in there. Alt-X, these two. So I want to see where I'm placing those bones. And now I can turn off the grid with G because I don't need it anymore. And once I've made a pelvis, I also don't need the character anymore. It is the parent, but I can just hide it because I don't need to select it. There's no need. It's going to be annoying if I keep accidentally selecting. So I'm just going to start with the pelvis. Cool. And hopefully that's clear what the model looks like. You should be able to see. And it's a little complicated, but not too bad. I'm actually going to turn on the head as well so I can see it inside. Just to make sure that I can put the head bone in the right place. Okay. So, pelvis first. Let's put it to where the pelvis is, which is about here. Why do I have shadows going on? I don't want shadows. Where's my shadow? Oh, I'll do that later. Cool. Put it there. And I'll scale it to about like a... Oh, I have scaled it using... There we go. I want to scale it to the edges here are about where, in a real person, where the hip bone would be. You know, the rotation point, the whatever, the socket. That's the one.
I actually wanted to know, as general rule of thumb, is it better to actually keep all the bones inside the mesh itself?
No, it doesn't matter. The bones are invisible,
Okay.
so you don't need to care whether they're inside the mesh.
So it doesn't really affect like animation and rigging or anything?
Not really.
No. Kind of the super long outside of it.
Like if I did this, it doesn't really matter. What it does do is it takes an envelope of the size of the cat rig, so it will take an envelope like that, which can be annoying because it may grab stuff that I don't want. I can fix it easily. It's just probably you just want to make it easier for yourself and just make it the right shape first of all. And I'll make the pelvis a little bit thick, something like that. So it's kind of around that area, more or less fitting inside. Cool, and this is kind of where the leg should rotate around. So the edge of it is where the leg would rotate around. So now I can add a leg. That's easy, just click add leg. And you'll see that's why I put it there, because that's exactly where it's going to pivot. I'm actually going to squish it down a little bit more. Oh, sorry. Add leg. Cool. So it's rotating where it should rotate from. And you can move that a few bits just to try and see. And that's pretty much where the rotator would be on an actual leg. Okay. Now you have this leg, and the thing to remember with cat rig is always work from the furthest away thing. When you add a leg or an arm or a tail, or not a tail, sorry, an egg or a leg and an arm, you want to work from the thing that's farthest away towards the body. So closer in. So my farthest away is this thing called a platform, and you'll see when I move the platform, the leg tries to follow it. So sorry. First thing I want to do, put the platform there, where the foot is, and I can even rotate the platform if I want to fit where the foot is.
That's the ankle bone.
That is the ankle bone. Exactly right. So this is the ankle bone, which is not the foot. So I see a lot of people sometimes doing like doing this and trying to get the foot to fit, but it's not a foot, it's an ankle. So you gotta be real careful about that. Yeah. Have you done that?
I always thought it was a foot.
No, it's not a foot. I'm gonna set my stuff to local as well. The problem with doing that is that you can't then rotate it very well when you're animating. Because like if I want my foot to do like a wiggle like that, and you do that with the ankle, it'll rotate the whole leg. It'll affect the whole leg. Because if you rotate your ankle, it affects your whole leg.
Right.
So you can't do that. So let me just scale it down, because this is just an ankle. And this should just be in the ankle area. And always look at your model left to right. And I always like to do this. I like to extend the ankle out, because then I can just grab it. You can do that, or you can use the gizmo. Doesn't matter, whichever way. I like to do this, but it doesn't really matter. So then you need to move the ankle to where the ankle should be. And it always does this. It always does this weird snap thing, because you've moved the platform, so it keeps trying to snap back to the platform. So don't worry about it, just move it back to where it should be. Oh, the platform's a bit offset. There we go.
Actually, this one thing, almost will ask actually for our members to do that machines that such as that are practice here. Is there kind of a reverse current?
Yeah, you just need to. So it depends on what way your legs are. If your legs are just like this, you can just do that, which is fine. If your legs only have, you know, like an ATST.
Yeah.
But if your legs have something like a chicken leg, so chicken leg, or a dog leg, sorry, horse hind leg, like this, you can literally go look at the bones and how they work, and you probably want to have it like that. So they'll be here, this is the knee, and this is actually the ankle, and they kind of walk on their tiptoes. Like cats, you know, the way like they're actually, those little paws are not their feet, they're actually their like little toes, and their feet are up. So you do it like this, for example, it'll be up here, and this would be really long, and you see the way that's gonna got that shape, and then you'd have a little foot for the actual little foot. So that's.
Do you change the nodes to like flip them to the other side, or just pull them?
No, because if I do. Wait, if I do it the way that I just did there, it's already got a knee bending forwards, and then it's going backwards. You know what I mean?
But what if it was like ostrich? It's more.
But this is an ostrich leg. This is an ostrich leg. It's like down forwards. At least I'm pretty sure. Ostrich leg. Anatomy. Oh, here we go. So it's like here is the hip, and then the knee, and then the ankle.
So when you're doing reading like all these bones, you can actually follow
The actual, yeah, you actually really should. It should follow exactly the how the actual bones are. That's basically what you need to do. That's what they call bones.
You follow it like it's going to be right.
It's basically going to be right, yeah. You follow it exactly. There are some things that where the actual knee points backwards, but they're very rare. They're usually like robots, like the ED201 and stuff from RoboCop. The ED201 from RoboCop, that one actually has the knees pointing backwards, and you just move it backwards. So you just would move the knee backwards, because what the cat rig will do, it will try to bend the knee towards the direction that's that it's pushing towards, that it's pointing towards. So that's why also with cat rigs, every time. So wait, let me just make the ankle right. I think it's okay. I'm going to use the platform to control. Is that correct? Yeah, a little bit. Rotate it a little bit more. Cool. So when I do this, I'm going to use an up node here. Up node, and that gives me a node I can use to control. And we always point that node to make sure that it's pointing forwards. So the knees is kind of here. And then I can move the leg back. And when I move the leg back, what I was saying is I always leave a little bit of a bend forwards, so that when it bends, it knows to bend forwards. And then I'm just going to make sure where the knees are. The knees are like, oh, careful. And you always want to try and keep that forward knee towards it. And finally, you can move this exactly to where the hip bone is. It should be around here. It's very fiddly, so I'm actually just moving left and right, but it's rotating the whole thing because I have the up node. I probably should have put the up node last, to be honest. It just controls where the knee follows, so you see the way my knee is looking towards it. So
you have to add it in, or it's already?
You should have to add it in. You have to select any of the upper leg or the lower leg and click use up node, and then it will appear. Let me delete the up node and I'll show you again. So delete. Oh, sorry. Just need to get use up off. Okay, let me just put these knees to where they should be. It's actually easier to put the up node in last, so that I can like actually really tweak my knees and stuff. And again, little bit of a bend here. Let's get it to the knees are kind of here, and the bone is here. That's grand. And then when I'm happy, any of these bones, upper thigh or the calf, use up node, and you see a little thing appear here. Sometimes it's tiny and it's inside. You just need to go to the leg, and you should see it here, and you can select it. And now when I pull it forwards, you see the way it controls where my knee is in. So I usually have it like there, far away. So when I move my leg, it will now always bend the knee towards where it is, towards where the up node is. Okay. And then from the ankle, I'll add a bone. This will be my foot bone. I just fucking don't need to rename it. You can rename it if you want. You probably should, but whatever. And I'm going to use local movement as well. There we go. Okay, so it's there. Scale it a bit. And I'm going to do two bones here. So this bone is going to control the, again, look at human foot. You see where the ankle joint is there and the bone comes up there. So I'm going to try and do, oh, have I? Oh no, that's the other foot. I'm going to try and put the foot rotating from here. And then you can do that with your feet. So I need another bone for that. So on that bone, add another bone, and I have this, so I can do tiptoes. And try to get it following the shape of what your body is doing at the moment. Cool, so that's okay with the foot, or with the leg, sorry. And when that's done, add another leg, boom, done.
And it's completely the same.
Completely exactly the same. If you've done it right, it should be exactly the same. Sometimes I've seen it fuck up, where this leg this is snapped down or something. Usually it's okay, you just need to bring the ankle back up and it looks exactly the same. Very rarely I've seen it kind of just go completely screwed up, and in those cases you have to delete the leg and start again. But it's very rare, I haven't seen that for a long time. So, cool, back up to the pelvis then. So the lower half of the body is done, that's the easiest part of the body. Now I'm going to add a spine. And the thing with the spine that you need to remember is this is not the head. Because, let me rotate the spine, you should see what it does. It rotates like that. So that means if that was the head, if I rotated the head, the whole body would go like that. So you can't do that. It's the chest. So I'm just going to rename this the chest. Cool. And I don't want it too big because I still want to see some of my parts. Again, this will take an envelope of influence. Cool, about there. So that's basically, think of the chest about where your rib cage is. Okay, and a little bit out. It's basically around where my rib cage is and a little bit out. That's why I have it going onto here, because my rib cage comes into like that there. Could be a little bigger. Because wherever your rib cage is, basically doesn't really flex, because it's a big giant pile of bones. It does a bit, but not very much. And then we go to the spine, and the thing with the spine is we want the bone system here. If it's a very complicated model, there should be a few more bones. If it's not that complicated, there can be less bones, and you can control the number of bones in the spine by selecting any of the spine bones and just going like, where is it? Spine setup here, bones 3, for example. That is only 3, which makes it easy to rig. Or you could want it really detailed if you have, let's say, a really long dragon, and you have really laggy and stuff. So you probably want a few more bones, especially if you want, especially for a dragon, because a dragon would have spikes in the back. So you'd want each spike to follow only the bone that it's there. If you only have like 3 bones, it will look like 3 sets of spikes, and it looks kind of crappy. Whereas if there's loads of sets of spikes, it looks more like a real dragon moving. So in my case, I don't actually need it to be that complicated. She's not that complicated. So 3 bones will probably do me, I think. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Maybe 4? No, 3 will be fine. We'll see. And I'll do that. I'll try to scale up the spine bones so they fit the body as well. So hopefully when I skin this, these spines will just grab that area and automatically just grab that area that I need without me having to go in and select the vertices and tell them to go to the spine. That's why I'm scaling them up a little bit. Like so. So that should be okay. A bit more like this. Oh, that should work. Cool. Is my chest in the right place? Should be a little higher, maybe. Cool. Alright. Now, in the chest one, you don't need the edges to be exactly where the arm rotates, because when you make an arm, it has a collarbone as well. And so, even in real life, it's not like my chest isn't linked exactly to my arm, it has this collarbone extending a little bit. So, if I add an arm, you'll see it has this collarbone thing. So it doesn't have to be exactly. Again, same thing. You work from the outside in. So this one is a bit weird, and if you're confused, it may be easier to add digits first. But basically, this always comes in like with the palm facing downwards. So it's this. I know it looks like a box, so you can't really tell which side it is, but this side is the palm, and this is the top of the back of your hand or whatever, top of your hand. So I'm gonna use move, and again outside in, so I'll move that first to where the arm is. Rotate it locally, so now it's facing the palm inwards, and rotate the palm so it's facing the right direction. And this one you need to be real careful about, make sure it's exactly where the hand is, otherwise you won't be able to animate properly. Squish it down a little bit.
For each fingers, it should be 2 bones.
3, except for the thumb is 2. It's technically 3 because you have this. Depends. You can have 3 if you want to do this movement. Most of the time, you don't have that in games, but if you want to, then yes, you need 3. the little fat on your palm. I'll do 3 because I actually have a bit of fat here, so I'll do 3. Yeah.
For my guy that has tentacles, like I want it sort of be like to be pieces like here to here. So I sort of want like the last little bits to be like wiggly, flaily sort of.
So you just do a digit, like a long digit from the palm. The palm is still controlling the whole arm. You always need the palm, and then you just have like
Like you put the palm
like you'd have
wherever-
one digit wherever you want. Yeah, really.
Up as high as I
It
want.
should probably be where the palm is on your character, and then you do from the palm. You do like 1 digit because you only have 1 tentacle, just with a lot of bones. 1 digit with tons of bones. And I'll show you that now in a second. Just get this hand in the right, and just really make sure that it's. You see the way it's like. It looks fine from here, but from here it's actually slightly rotated wrong. So I just need to make sure it's rotated as well. For anyone watching this recording, that's Will, not my fault. Okay, so rotated.
We just said it. Watching this. That's good.
It is Will.
I'm watching.
Okay, and just spend a lot of time on the palm. I have screwed up many of these by kind of going, whatevs, it's good enough. And then,
Did you rotate the next one? Not the palm,
They're
the
even
next
worse
one?
than.
no.
No?
I made a character.
Which one?
Sucks.
This one? No, it's connected to the palm, so it goes
Oh,
wherever
so
I
if you rotate the palm, it goes like
It doesn't. No, it should stay. It should stay.
So in this case, it's like that,
It's doing, yeah, like
but it's not natural because
No.
when you rotate the palm, this bone.
it should rotate as well, but it's not natural at all. But that's because I haven't finished. I'm gonna do the palm first, and then I'll go in. So I don't really care yet. But yes, I will fix that later. So scale it up a teensy bit. Just really make sure that it's rotated correctly. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. And now I'm going to add the digits. So number of digits, I have 5, so I got 5. And 3ds Max always automatically knows whatever digits I add, it always has a thumb for me. So if I want to only have 3 fingers, like if I have a thing that's a Gragan and it only has 3 fingers and no thumb, I'll add 4 and then I'll delete the thumb. Just so the 3 are in line. So I'll do 5 digits. Boop. And each digit by default comes in with 3. Actually, I'll turn on the edge faces. No. Is it easier or worse with the edge faces to understand?
I didn't think it was weird that.
Is it easier or worse if I turn on the edge faces to understand?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Okay.
I think it's easier with
Okay,
this.
with these bones. Okay, so the weird thing about the bones is this. If I move it does that. It's a pain in the ass. So if I want to move fingers, I need to select everything that's a child of it. So just double click and I can move all of them. The thing is, when I rotate, I only need to select one of them, which is so stupid. Because if I select all of them, it'll rotate like that. Yes, because if I look at it from the side, the angles are off. So I'll usually rotate them first and then double click, move them there, and then look at it from the side. I probably need
I'm seeing all of my mistakes.
well, it's very tough to do, to be honest.
Seriously, I didn't even know the digits thing was a thing. I just added bones.
Oh, really?
Palm.
I'll just skinify them a bit so I can deal with them. Just make sure this is in the right spot. Cool. And is it rotated okay from the front? It's a little bit rotated this way. And then this one's a bit this way.
Yeah, just
Cool. So that is more or less, not really exactly. Yeah, we go. That's more or less exactly where it is. Then this one, we need to move it so it's in the center. Here. Cool. And don't be afraid to, because they are different fingers, so you can scale up some of them as well. And this one comes here. Does that look okay? Nope, nope, it's a bit off. This one needs to be rotated a little bit that way. For some reason my finger is a bit broken. And then this. And this is just a long process of doing all this. As Homer is finding right now. Yes. Rotate this. And this one definitely needs to be scaled down. It's a little finger. And rotate it probably this way. So I would spend actually quite a bit of time on this. I'm kind of going as fast as I can, but I would usually spend quite a lot of time on this one, because if you get this wrong, your fingers forever are weird.
Why do I have like very long nails? So are they going to be attached to the?
I would stop it here, like where the finger is, and then you can just select all the vertices that are in the nail and put it and rig them to this bone.
But can't you just move the bone?
You can as well. It's just, it may be confusing if you want to go and grab something, because the bone is blocking where your actual finger is, so you're a bit. I prefer this way, but you can, of course, do it the other way. Then because I said I would do the 3 bone thing for my thumb. The 3rd bone is actually here, in this piece here. If you're confused, go look at a human and bones, like so, and you see that the thumb is actually 3 bones, and it goes like from here off. So let's put it there. So there's this bone here, that is that bone. Scale it up longer, and then the other 2 are quite short. As you can see, it's really long and small, and this one is tiny.
Is this alright? Sorry. Oh, sorry.
That's why I told you to. Give me a second. I'll scale this one as well because it's a lot fatter. Again, I don't have to scale them. I can just rig them later, but it makes it easier. Oh no, they're linked together, so I can't. Ooh. Okay, well, life. And that.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a giant storm.
Dark. Again.
Really?
So I'm gonna get your boat to overflow to school.
This is better.
Cool. So that hand is good. Pretty good. This? Oh, it's like a little glove. It's just like a glove that she's wearing. Cool, that should be pretty good. Then this. So this needs to go where the elbow is. It's there. Same thing as the legs. Make sure that the bend is facing the direction you want, and you should try to scale it down. Oh, shit. In this direction only. Oh, that's the other thing. On bones that are connected, never scale this way, because you do stuff like that. Always scale, make sure you're only scaling in the width, never scale in the length, especially for the legs, because sometimes it's okay, and then sometimes they do this weird thing where
They freak out.
they snap together, and it does so don't. Never scale in this direction, in the leg direction. Well, isn't that how we learn all things? Then we move this here, and this one should be where the elbow, the shoulder is.
Is there at any point any reason to mess with the collarbone?
No, yes and no. So if I'm doing most movements, look at my collarbone, it's not really that much. But if I want to do like this, then I need to move my collarbone. I definitely need to. So it depends really. To be honest with you, most of the time when I'm animating, I don't touch collarbone, but I am a lazy animator, so to be the 100% realistic, yes, you should also rotate the collarbone. To be 100% realistic. So I'm just going to make collarbone a bit big, and that should be okay. Let me just Make sure that's directly in center. And if you're confused, Alt X so you can see through. Oh no, it's a little bit up. And a little bit there. Okay, cool. And these also have an up node.
Oh.
So use up node. Now this one is a weird up node. Because in the knee, when I use the up node, it rotates right now when I'm doing this. The elbow up node doesn't. So when I move the up node, it doesn't do anything. It only affects the model in animation. I don't know why they made this, but it only does in animation. So you'll see when I go to animate, if I move my up node, nothing happens, and then when I move the palm, the elbow suddenly snaps and goes down towards the up node. It's a weird thing. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it doesn't do it at work.
Which one did you select?
Any of the upper of these ones. It's the same as select any of the actual big ones. And then because okay. So this is the thing. Now I have a decision to make. So the decision is like this. If I have these shoulder pieces here, do I want to rig them to part of my arm or as part of my chest? This is the decision. If they're part of my arm, it means anytime my arm moves, the shoulder pieces move as well. If they're part of the chest, it means I can move my arm around and the shoulder pieces don't move at all until I tell them, because they follow the chest. And this is the thing you need to think about. So like a common thing is they rig it to the collarbone, because normally when you rotate the arms, the collarbone doesn't move. But if you make the shrug, then it also moves with. Another common thing is to rig it to the chest, then you completely don't move at all and it only moves when you tell it to, but you need to remember to move it. So we can do a halfway. I want to say collarbone is probably a good one. I don't remember what I did before. Would I do a collarbone? I'll do collarbone. So then if I do on the collarbone, if I do that, like if I'm shrugging shoulders, they will come with it as well. But otherwise they should not move. So on the collarbone, I'll add a bone. There's the bone. And again, here is where you need to remember where the pivot point is, because the bones always have a pivot point at the bottom. So if I want to make this my shoulder piece, I need to remember where it's pivoting from. So if I do that, I'll be like, the hinge for this shoulder is probably here, I would say, so that it would rotate around there. And then you can do it like, you don't have to rotate it like this if you don't want to. You can just leave it like this, but I'll do it. I'll do it like this. Cool. Grand. And now anything you want to follow the pauldron also needs to be its own bone. So add another bone, and this will be for the tall bit. Squeeze that down. And if you're getting confused with colors, you can always change color here. Like that. Boop. So it's a different color.
Do this one.
For this tall piece, because it can, I can do it there, but I actually want it so in the animation that I did before, when I did that, for example, the shoulder would move like a bit, and then the tall pieces will move a little bit more because they're like floating. It at least gives me the option, even if I never use it, because it's already rigged. This bone is already linked to this, so even if I never use that bone, I don't have to, but it gives me the option if I want to. And now I can do stuff like, just in case, and I can do stuff like, you know, those go to the side, and she becomes an airplane, something stupid, if I want to. But if I didn't have that bone, it would be screwed later on. I mean, I could go back and add it, but it would be a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. So I'll put that where it should rotate. It should be rotating around here is where it should link to, and I'll just move that up. And I'm not going to animate these stupid. I don't have to go all the way up as well. I can just go here, because I know I can grab those and rig it to it. I'm going to ignore the stupid knives. So once I'm done, and again, because this is part of the collarbone, when I copy it, it will also create these. So add another arm, and it should create exactly everything else. Perfect. And that should be good. Yeah, pretty good. Cool. Save. Now I'm going to go up to the head. Actually, no, let me finish rigging the the gun. So the gun should go where the palm is going because it's being held by the gun. So I will add a bone from the palm and move that. And that's why I did the left one first, because then I can just do the right one and add the bone later, the gun later. Doesn't really matter, but like basically don't add the gun until you're finished. And let's rotate that so it's like facing forwards correctly. Can I actually don't know if you can align object to world using this. No, you can't. Ooh. Oh wait, effect pivot only align. No, I can't. That's annoying. Can I right click and align or go to align up here? Where's align? Do you see align? I hate these new buttons. Which is align? That's not align. Where's align? Where's align, guys?
Tools.
Is it tools? Has it gone to tools? Oh, it has. What? No, it's there. Ah, there. Okay, so maybe. Oh my god, I don't know what any of these are. They're all new.
I don't know why you upgraded. The UI doesn't
I have to. Okay, Alt A, and let's align to. Oh, I have nothing to align to. Let's align to this. So I want to align not position, not. I just want to align orientation. Boop. Okay, there we go. Huh? Alt A it was. So this is a way if I want to make it not exactly 90 degrees, you just align to something that you know is already 90 degrees. Right. That way you don't have to, go and rotate it and carefully try and get it to fit. Cool, and I just need to rotate that 180 so it's facing downwards. And this one goes here. In my actual one, these two flaps open up, so I would need special bones for them. And this, I don't really care. I'm just going to add like this R. Cool. And here is, let me just make sure it's aligned correctly. Oh, I could also turn off the gun freezing and freeze all. And I could also align to the gun. To the gun, because the gun is already its own separate piece, and I can just align not the orientation, but align the X, Y, and Z position. Okay, and now it's exactly in the center of the gun because it's already aligned. Can do that instead of manually going off and doing. So it's exactly in the center of the gun. That's grand. I'll move it like here maybe, and there's a reason I'm not going all the way. Because I can add another bone, and this will control the actual gun. So there's a trick at I showed you guys the Overwatch animation video, right? Of like the stretchy stuff. So this will be where I would put another bone there that when it shoots, it would actually squash the whole gun. So you see it really quickly, you don't really notice, but it looks like a very fast compression. So I'll just add a bone there, add a bone.
Does it make sense for just a regular gun?
It depends how cartoony you want to be. So this was quite a cartoony character, so you do need to do it for that. For a regular one, I've not seen any like realistic games where they do that. I haven't seen that. They usually try to use recoil or something. Because in real life it doesn't. Yeah. I mean, actually in real life, kind of a little. But too small to see, so I probably wouldn't if it was very realistic. But this is cartoony, so I will definitely. So that when I animate it, this will fire back, and then it'll do like a squash as well. So it'll squash it. So that's fine for the gun. Back up to the body. Let's freeze the body again. Freeze selection. The gun and the head. Freeze that. Freeze selection. Cool. Are you guys okay? Do you want to take a break, or you want to keep going?
How long for it?
Huh?
Okay. How long do you want?
Well, we're getting to the head, which is going to have all the armor pieces of the head that needs to open up for the helmet, and all the eyeballs, and the little, the eyebrows, and the lips, and the blinking eyes and stuff. So it's going to be a long thing.
Well, let's have lunch.
Cool. Let me just pause the